Welcome to VBSM Academy. I am Virupatri Ademaya to the classes of Science General Science class today. Atmosphere gases. Come friends, let us have a brief discussion on the atmosphere around the planet Earth and the gases in the atmosphere, the layers of the atmosphere, and all we will discuss. The gases around the planet in the atmosphere, they are chemically made up of two or more elements. They are formed by combination of carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, etc. For example, you can classify them according to the reactivity of the gases in the atmosphere. Inert under normal conditions like nitrogen, argon, helium, and sulfur, fluorine, neon, carbon dioxide. The oxidizing nature of oxygen, ozone, fluorine, and nitrous oxide, and flammable gases like hydrogen, methane, acetylene, carbon monoxide, silicon tetrahydride, and other type of gases. Examples of gases are hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, helium, neon, and argon. So these rare earth elements which are rare gases. All matter exists 3, 4, 5 states of matter. The states of matter are concerned. Matter exists in generally. Previously we were knowing about solids, liquids, and gases. The fourth state of matter is plasma, and the fifth state of matter is also about bosons and all the modern science and technology. A gas consists of molecules separated wide apart in the container empty space. These gas molecules are free to move about container or in empty space. Well friends, gas is one of the four fundamental states of matter, the other being solid, liquid, and plasma. A pure gas may be made up of individual atoms. Examples: noble gases like argon, neon, krypton, etc. The elemental molecules made from one type of atom. Example: oxygen, and a compound molecules made from the variety of atoms. Carbon dioxide, for example, is a compound. Well, these are the gaseous molecules in the atmosphere, you can see. You cannot perceive it, you cannot see, but you can perceive the movement of the gases. 3/4 of all air residues in the atmosphere, the lowest layer of the Earth's atmosphere. Air is a mixture of gases, as we know that most of which are naturally occurring. Air also contains a significant amount of human-made air pollutants, including some that are not safe to breathe, and some of the warmth of the planet's climate. The troposphere also contains water in all three phases: solid, liquid, and gas, as well as solid particles called aerosols. Gases in Earth's atmosphere. You know that the inert gas, nitrogen and oxygen, are by far most common. Dry air is composed of about 78% nitrogen and about 21% of oxygen by volume in the atmosphere. Argon, carbon dioxide, and many other gases are also present in much lower amounts. Each makes up less than 1% of the atmosphere mixture of gases. You know that the whole planet Earth is surrounded by the atmospheric gases of different constituents and different composition. There are also many small particles, solids, liquids floating in the atmosphere, my dear friends. These particles, which scientists call aerosols, include dust, spores, and pollen sought from the spray, volcanic ash, smoke, and more we can find in the atmosphere in the form of gases and dust particles. Layers of the Earth is concerned with the atmosphere. The atmosphere grows thinner, less dense, and lower pressure is one of the most important Earth's surface. It gradually gives the way to the vacuum and outer space. There is no precise top of the atmosphere. Air becomes so thin at altitudes between 100 and 120 kilometers, that is around 60 to 75 miles. Of that, of many purposes, that range of heights can be considered the boundary between the atmosphere and space. However, my dear friends, there are very thin but measurable traces of atmospheric gases hundreds of kilometers above the Earth's surface. There are several different regions of layers in the atmosphere. Each has characteristic temperatures, pressures, and phenomena. We live in troposphere, the lowest layer where most clouds are found and almost all weather occurs. That is the special nature of the atmosphere. The climatic conditions are also mentioned during the atmospheric changes. Some jet aircraft fly in the next higher layer, the stratosphere, which contains the jet streams and the ozone layer. Higher still are the Mesosphere, Thermosphere, and Exosphere. Learn about the layers of the Earth's atmosphere in the forthcoming classes, my dear friends. It is necessary to know the Mesosphere, Thermosphere, and Exosphere, which are the layers of the atmosphere. The Earth atmosphere is comprised of layers based on temperatures. These layers are the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere. A further region at about 500 kilometers above the Earth's surface is called exosphere. The Earth's atmosphere is a mixture of gases that surrounds our home planet Earth. Besides providing us with something to breathe, the atmosphere helps make life on Earth possible in several ways. It shields us from most of the harmful ultraviolet radiations from the sun. Coming from the distant sun warms the surface of our planet by about 33 degrees Celsius, or nothing but 59 degrees Fahrenheit, via the greenhouse effect, and largely prevents extreme differences between daytime and nighttime temperatures. Earth's atmosphere has a series of layers, each with its own specific traits, moving upward from ground level. These layers are named the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. The exosphere gradually fades away into the realm of interplanetary space. Troposphere is the lowest layer of our atmosphere. Starting at a ground level, it extends upward to about 10 kilometers, that is 6.2 miles, or about 33,000 feet above the sea level. We humans live in the troposphere, and nearly all weather occurs in this lowest layer. Most clouds appear here mainly because of 99% of water vapor in the atmosphere is found in the troposphere. Air pressure drops and temperatures get colder as you climb higher in the troposphere, my dear friends. Coming to the mesosphere, the next higher layer of our planet, most meteors burn up in the mesosphere. Unlike the stratosphere, temperatures once again grow colder as you rise up through the mesosphere. The coldest temperatures in Earth's atmosphere, about minus 90 degrees Celsius to minus 100, that is 130 degrees Fahrenheit, are found near the top of this layer. The air in the mesosphere is far too thin to breathe. Air pressure at the bottom of the layer is well below 1% of the pressure at sea level and continues dropping as you go higher and higher, my dear friends. Thermosphere, my dear friends, the terminology. Thermo means heat. The layer very rare air above the mesosphere is called the thermosphere. High energy X-rays and ultraviolet radiation from the sun are absorbed in the thermosphere, raising the temperature to hundreds or at times thousands of degrees. However, the air in this layer is so thin that it would feel freezing cold to us. In many ways, the thermosphere is more like outer space than a part of the atmosphere. Many satellites actually orbit Earth within the thermosphere. Variations in the amount of energy coming from the sun exert a powerful influence on both the height of the top of this layer and the temperature within it. Because of this, the top of the thermosphere can be found anywhere between 500 to 1000 kilometers above the ground. The temperatures in the upper thermosphere can range from about 500 degrees Celsius to 2000 degrees Celsius or even higher. The aurora, the northern lights and southern lights occur in the thermosphere. The exosphere is the outermost layer of the atmosphere. Experts consider the thermosphere to be the uppermost layer of our atmosphere. Others consider the exosphere to be the actual final frontier of Earth's gaseous envelope. As you might imagine, the air in the exosphere is very thin, making this layer even more space-like than the thermosphere. In fact, air in the exosphere is constantly, though very gradually, leaking out of the Earth's atmosphere into outer space. There is no clear-cut upper boundary where the exosphere finally fades away into the space. Different definitions place the top of the exosphere somewhere between 1 lakh kilometer and 1,90,000 kilometer above the surface of the Earth. The latter value is about halfway to the Moon. Ionosphere. The ionosphere is not a distinct layer like the others mentioned above. Instead, the ionosphere is a series of regions in parts of the Mesosphere and Thermosphere. The intermediate between the meso and the thermosphere. High energy radiation from the sun has knocked electrons loose from the parent atoms and molecules. The electrically charged atoms and molecules that are formed in this way are called ions. That's why it's called ionosphere, giving the ionosphere its name and endowing this region with some special. Like, share, subscribe. This is VBSM Academy, School of Arts and Science.